concentration. But yeah, David, I think there'll be a couple women off the front here, and then I think it's going to maybe be a little bit of a battle for third place here, huh?
Absolutely. That's where I think the 273 may come into play, because the highest total entered here, 300 kilos by Tatiana Kasharina. Well, you might have thought that was it as you look at the champion, but it was actually Zhu Lulu of China who's entered 315.
The world will perform for us in this 75+ kilogram category, Group A. And our first competitor will be Alexandra Aboleva.
So all set to go in the women's super heavyweight. Sit back with Randy Strossen and myself, David Goldstrom, and enjoy this one as the first contender comes out here. And this is representing Kazakhstan, Alexandra Aboneva, 105 kilos on the bar. Well, made it look like a featherweight.
Almost power snatches this, but then very slow to stand up, didn't you think, for an opener? Got the game face on. He catches this very high, thighs about parallel to the platform. We've had a sea of red ink here, missed lifts early in the week. Things started to change last night in a positive way. I'd like to see that trend maybe continue today.
Yeah, she's capable of at least 110, if not 113, edging towards 115. So it's a pretty conservative start on 105 kilos there for Aboneva. University silver medalist, Universiade silver medalist this season in Shenzhen. But weighing in today, Aboneva at 102 kilos. Now, that means she's put on 5 kilos since the Universiade competition for today. And it's going to be the Ecuadorian, the Pan American Games champion. And pretty steady on her body weight, round about the 95 kilo mark. Some people think that there ought to be some sort of handicap system here. How can you possibly have a lifter who weighs in at sort of 90 or thereabouts facing a lifter of 160 plus kilos?
People have also suggested maybe having a maximum body weight for similar reasons.
Well, there have been some great champions in the past, and we might talk about one or two of those, but this is 107 kilos for the Ecuadorian, absolutely on what she posted as her opening attempt. Nicely done.
Really. She just threads the needle on that. Makes it look effortless.
And this is what I would expect on all first attempts, really. I would expect the whole field to come out and make attempt number one, to be honest. And
she not only makes the lift, she makes the lift look good. She makes the lift look easy.
Yeah, she's a multi-winner of Pan American Championships. She was 6th in the world last year, 258, and the Ecuadorian this season looking for an extra couple of kilos. Now, Shimamoto for Japan. Japan really developing their women's team. Right at the early end of the early part of the championships, we saw Hiromi Miyake do pretty well in the women's 53 class.
And also, David, one of the Asian countries where the women's lifting program is stronger than the men's, don't you think?
Oh, totally.
Yeah, so
totally.
It's kind of interesting, you know, it's a cultural thing. Pumps the hips, separates the bar from the platform, accelerates it, overhead, waits the down signal, good lift.
All about business out here, as it should be, but quite bubbly and smiley backstage. And the bar going up to 109. Now, just to whet your appetite, Kasharina has said, I will not move out of my chair until the bar reaches 140 kilos. Olga Korobka on her comeback. They are a little nervous, the Ukrainian squad backstage there. 125. Hripsime Khoshurian. She could be the Shigi chef of the women's division, because
the moral victor.
Well, the Armenians have had a rotten week basically, and they've got two, one in this class and one in the men's super heavyweight class, and this is redemption day for their squad. It hasn't come off for them, and it's quite surprising actually. Now Aboneva, who looked a bit concerned, coming out for a 5 kilo increase here. Better than the first one.
Yeah, also fairly close to power snatch. Just gets a little lower. You'll notice her feet go out a little bit wider, and that just helps her get greater depth, sink down a little bit lower in the squat.
And she was 5th in the World Championships last year, and totaled up 260, and she's...
See how high she catches that? Nowhere close to a low bottom position. Could be a combination of strength and possibly also lack of flexibility.
Shimamoto not wasting all time. This is a characteristic of women's weightlifting. You often get a class like this where they almost take their lifts at lightning speed. And that's a good attempt from Shimamoto. So,
yeah, you know, it's nice to see the strength continue. Pumps the hips, help get that dynamic start, sinks the putt. Notice how low her bottom position was. Full squat snatch.
Now, what I'm looking for is a real push on the third attempts here, Randy. When they come out again, Aboneva and also Shimamoto to really push themselves for personal bests.
I want to see some white lights, though, following that.
Absolutely, but, you know...
Not just to push the success.
I want to see the success as well, but at the same time, you know, what you don't want is a totally conservative competition and then Kasharina just comes in and wipes it all up.
Absolutely. You can't coast. I mean, you're not here to coast. You're here to get team points, if nothing else. Even if it's not individual glory, you're here to help the team. So are you satisfied with the 112?
Not really, no. I'd be hoping that she was closer to 115, to be honest.
Yeah. 5 kilo increase, though, still nothing to sneeze at.
It is, but then it's a question of, was 107, you know, could she have come in for a higher starter to bridge the gap a little bit more? You know, she could have come in for, say, 109 and then gone 112 and then 115.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, that's all down to her. But she has done 115.
Well, they're good. So what do you think, 115 on the third? Is that going to be the call?
Well, I really hope so, yeah.
We have a phone line to the warm-up room. We could pass along a suggestion.
I wouldn't dream of it.
Look at this. Very nice. Look, she doesn't have to waltz around with this when she sinks and hits the bottom position. Sticks this lift very well.
Yeah, what I was really getting at was, you know, I'd like her actually to be going beyond 115. So to get beyond 115, she would have needed to start at 109. Now, that looked relatively straightforward in terms of weight. So we'll just have to wait and see. And this is Shimamoto coming out on 113 for her third attempt. And this, to her credit, will be a new personal best attempt. So let's hope she gets this. She was 8th in the world last year, only totaled up 252, of which 112 kilos came from the first half of the competition. Shimamoto looking for 260 minimum from today's event. Come on. Good stuff. Not a problem. 3 out of 3. Little smile.
Nice run of successes here.
Yeah.
You'd like these lifts to be consistent, executing the same way each time you go out there. Maybe you pull a little harder, maybe you sink a little lower as the weight goes up. Good lift.
Yeah, over the years, great lifters in this women's super heavyweight. The one that still sticks in my memory, the World Championship victory of Ding Meiyong of China in Athens in '99, and then the Olympic title in 2000. Okay, she was doing 285, 300, and we know that's then, it's not now. The whole sport's moved on in this division. But at the time, she was a wonderfully athletic super heavyweight. You know, she wasn't in the 160 kilos.
Right. Yeah, we've had that, and then we kind of had, you know, a subclass of the, you know, more of the sumotori type.
Well, we've had a few Bulgarians who've moved to Azerbaijan. This is slightly different. This is a Ukrainian who's moved across there. and didn't total, I'm afraid, in the European Championships because the permit for her to lift didn't come through. So the last time we've seen her lift, she represented the Ukraine. She was 7th in the world.
Boy, she wasted no time over the bar. You might even say was she maybe a little hasty as far as getting set up. Good left, had to walk forward with it, bitches, to get it under control. Hook grip, that's to hang on to the bar. Second pull at about hip height. Sticks the tongue out because she knows she's got the lift.
Yeah, we're just 2 kilos short at this particular moment of the Nigerian who lifted in the B group. I apologize that we didn't show you those lifts. It's a pity because Marianne Usman lifted 117 kilos in the clean and jerk. And you can see here she's got a good chance of maybe taking 1 or 2 scalps. Now, Aboneva, 115. Oh, come on. That was so close, Randy.
Yeah, she's basically almost trying to power snatch all of these. She's a little awkward in the bottom position. You'll see that she has even a wider stance. That's an attempt to get lower. She's not comfortable, I don't think, in terms of committing to a full squat snatch. Watch, she's going to cut the height a little bit, and as a result, she's going to lose this lift. Too bad. First miss in this class. We really got to enjoy a lot of good lifts.
I think you were spot on there. There was just that sense of, I don't quite believe I can do this. And of course, that's fatal.
You know, I was going to say they're within range of 116, which I thought would please you, and in fact, they're going after it. Because it's only 4 kilo increase in the second attempt.
Yeah, but it's a personal best.
Exactly. No, that's why I said that's good. You were hoping they'd hit that number, and I want to say it was achievable even with their conservative start. Anyway, here it is. Now she's just got to make it.
Well, fingers crossed. We know she can do 215, although it hasn't been achieved in recent times. I mean, in the Pan Americans, 113. They say it was quite a strong Pan American competition, but 216, this is 3 kilos above.
Being really careful placing those hands for that hook grip.
10 seconds.
Look at that.
Come on, come on.
She did that for you, David. She took her time, was very careful setting up on the grip. Essential. Takes a lot of strength because you're going to be pulling really hard. Boy, she really nailed that, huh?
Yeah, I'm really pleased about that. You know, it's 116, but still below the Nigerian in the B group. Got to say that. You know, she's lifted out 3 attempts out of 3, so pleased for that. And also, of course, Shimamoto had 3 out of 3.
But a great example of the point that you were making earlier, David. They raised the bar just a bit higher for her, and then she cleared it.
Yeah. So here's the very speedy Yulia Dovha, 28 years of age now.
A little rough in the opener. Oh, better but similar. I mentioned earlier, you'd like each lift to be the same. I mean, you don't want one groove for one lift and something completely different on the next lift. And you can see her pattern. She wasn't quite as fast as far as launching the lifts. Characteristic step forward for her. Might just be what she does in every single snatch. But the most important thing, it's a successful lift.
But what really is interesting to see how she's prospered in Azerbaijan, having moved across there. I mean, last year when she lifted for the Ukraine, she got 3 out of 6, 257. She has posted an entry total of 275, which is a very chunky increase if she can achieve it. And next up, it's going to be Eli Opologi, the Commonwealth Games champion. Here she is, all the way from the South Pacific. The 2 main islands of Samoa. Apia is the capital, where she hails from, on the island of Upolu. And Opologi competed in the World Championships last year, got 265, but only made 2 out of 6. Those are not good percentages. She got 4 out of 6 in the Commonwealth Games, and that's at least where she's got to be now. So 120, this will take the lead away from Mariam Usman of Nigeria, if she gets this. So Nigeria in the lead, Samoa challenging, and Ellie represents this growing expansion of weightlifting right across the South Pacific.
Well, not because it looked heavy for her. I mean, she lifts this thing off the platform and get it started as if it's balsa wood, but that's about it. You know, the bar's not going to levitate anymore on its own. She just doesn't finish this. Watch. She just, you know, you need to commit at that point, fly under that bar, stretch the bar to lock those arms out overhead. And she's got a really soft finish on this.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else is going to want 120 either, so she's got to follow herself now. And, okay, we can allow over the course of the competition maybe 1, maximum 2 failures, but we want to see them at the end of the snatch, and we want to see them at the end of the clean jerk where she's really pushing herself. So the fact that she's got to come out on 120 again now just sort of limits her a little bit. She did lift 125 kilos in the Commonwealth Games, where she actually totaled up 285, and that was a decent total, I have to say.
Just a reminder, too, the 120 is still just a bit below the best from the B session, right?
No, it's not. It's 3 kilos above it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we had a 121. No, you're right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that was missed. An attempt at 121 was unsuccessful.
We've got a 118, so Yulia Dovhal of Azerbaijan is actually in the lead by a kilo at the moment. And now Ellie. Oh, come on.
Well, see, there's an extension of what I was pointing out on the first lift. I said she was soft on the finish. She didn't commit to going under. Well, here she didn't commit at all. She just did a pull with this, just a high pull and then quit.
It's a long way from the South Pacific. This is your day.
Yeah, it's the World Championships. It's the lead up to the London Olympics. You want everything firing. But this is, where you see the mental part of this game. It's not just physical. Now, I'm curious, when you have a moment, why she went to Azerbaijan. We know about the Bulgarians, what their motivation was.
Well, I can speculate. That's all I can do. And I think it's really the fact that the Azerbaijan Federation have determined to actually offer a really good program for women's weightlifting. The Bulgarians were obviously hugely dissatisfied with what was going on in their country because of the complete disarray of their federations. So there's a completely logical reason why they actually went across, and like Zlatan Vanev as well, going across to coach there. And what I'm speculating is that, maybe, they've attracted Yulia because maybe she wasn't feeling that she was going anywhere particular, and being in a women's group in a country that was actually going to put some resource behind it would actually serve her well.
Resource was maybe the key word. I was wondering if they're well funded, and it sounds as if the program is.
Now, this French crowd is doing what they've done all week. This is a woman in trouble, and they want to help her out. So, she's got 1,500 people on her side in this hall.
Okay, so that's halfway between the first attempt and the second attempt. Really a limp effort. The snatch has got to be crisp. This was limp.
And well, Ellie, you've got to be sad for her because look at the disappointment there. Look at the journey that she's made, and frankly, whatever it was in her head, it never got switched on, as you see Hripsime Khoshudyan of Armenia. Hripsime, very decent lifter in the 75 kilo class, and felt that she needed to move up to compete, but it's a while till we see her. It's now Yulia Dovhal to go to 121 kilos. So this for 3 out of 3. And it's 2 out of 3, and she's left on 118. You think she might be just rushing these things a bit?
Well, I don't know. I actually thought that looked good at the beginning. She wastes no time over the bar. One advantage is she doesn't get psyched out. I think maybe it's easy to say, but if she had just been able to sink down a little bit lower, she would have been had an easier time getting under the bar, locking it out. Doesn't matter. That's speculation. And here comes Hripsime.
Hripsime. the European silver medalist and the under-23 medalist as well. 4th in the world last year. She missed the bronze medal by a whole bunch of kilos, more than 20. But she's a medalist at 75 kilos. More of that in a moment. 125 to open. Come on. It was a little rough, but she saved it, and she's on her way.
Right arm had some movement, yeah. Center referee, wise person that she is, agrees with me.
I was straight looking. I wasn't actually looking at the television monitor. I was straight looking down from where we're sitting, Randy, which, as we've said, is quite away from the stage. So I'd like to see her. Yeah, I can see just what you were looking at there on the right arm.
I was watching the live platform on that. Just a little break.
Just like to see that from the front again. It would be really good to get another replay in there.
Challenge for her here really is to show that she should be in the supers, and that by going up in bodyweight classes that she's going to add some weight to what she's lifting. Hasn't quite made that transition yet. We expect it to take some time for her to grow into this class, as it were.
Yeah, she was European champion at 75 kilos in 2007, which coincidentally was in France on the stage at Strasbourg.
Talk about growing into one's class. Here we are, 166 kilos of Olga, right?
Olga Korobka, who's been off the competition stage, recovering from a hip injury. No surgery, it's just been physio all the time. Olga, who was the Olympic silver medalist in Beijing behind Chang Mirang, and the European silver medalist in Minsk the last time we saw her. Coached by Vasily Kulak and supervised by the great Dennis Gottfried. And that will help to clear their nerves.
She's one of the few women supers who really dwarfs the barbell and just towers over this thing. Nice lift. Nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. And
it's nice to have slow motion because the entire snatch is run off in less than a second, and it's difficult to follow everything that's going on with just your eye. In slow motion, you can see all the little sub-movements that make up the lift.
When she won the European Championships in Strasbourg, just for interest, 293. That was really at the height of her powers then. In recent years, we've seen her really more in the 270s, and she's actually posted 280 today. So she's in that sort of middle of the range. Now, Hripsime to come back. 5 kilos going on the bar here for Hripsime. And this will be a very good indication of the work they've done since April in Minsk. In Kazan.
Yeah, I don't think she ever snatched 130 as a 75, did she? I don't think she did.
No.
So this is what we'd hoped for. The dislocated arm. Yeah, it's too bad. She almost had. When you lose the bar behind, if you hang on too long, the arm will either break at the elbow or dislocates. They're screening her from the audience. Some people go into shock and you barely hear anything from them, and for some, it's a vocal death. And they might even be able, if it's just a dislocation, they might even pop the arm back in backstage.
Yeah.
Dr. Shahabi from Iran is not here this year. He has the world record, he's told me, for putting arms back in place backstage. Up at around 24 or so last time I heard from him. Really unfortunate. You know, they needed her to get some points for the team. And
I'm off to a good start. Actually, forget about the points for the team. I'm just really, really upset for her because it's incredibly painful. And I'm surprised they're putting her on a stretcher, actually, because normally you can get them up and walk them off, which is...
Well, they're taking a long time to get her out of there.
Yeah.
David, I think, personal tragedy, true. To me, really the most crushing thing about this is that we were about to see her make a breakout lift. Okay?
Yeah.
She moved up in bodyweight classes to hit new territory. This was beyond what she had ever done in semi-fight. The lift was looking good until she lost it. Really unfortunate about the arm. I'm willing to bet she'll be back.
Oh, I think she will be, but,
Not tonight, of course.
no, I mean, I just think it's really unfortunate. It just hasn't been Armenia's week in any shape or form. And that just is another nail today in. And they haven't given you a replay of it because they probably think it's too horrible to watch again, but we've seen those a lot of times. And as you say, it's quite possible that the doctors, within a matter of minutes, will pop that back if they can. And, she will make a full recovery.
She could be back for London. The other significance here is that this is going to change the podium race in a significant way, because she was someone, I think, who would have been in contention for, maybe the bronze medal.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she's in there with Korobka for sure, because Korobka's got uncertainties because she's been off the stage for a while. She competed in the Nationals, but that was nothing special. And
decided not to take the third attempt in snatch. We move on to one.
I wonder why. They're announcing that she's not taking her third attempt. Gosh, that's a surprise.
And
Olga's up next.
Yeah, Olga, who's 4 kilos going on the bar.
Thank you again. Thank you.
And 131 kilos on the bar for Olga Korobka. And second attempt. I'm really disappointed because, as you rightly say, some of the real fight of this competition has just disappeared with Fripsima. And particularly when you get a failure like that.
Yeah. Just to follow up on that for 1 second, she's one of the lifters that we like because she has a nice presence out there, and you can see this fire. So, our best wishes to her complete and speedy recovery.
Well, it's not that just about her presence, Randy. I mean, it's about the fact that she's worked really hard now since the Europeans in Kazan. I'm not saying all the other lifters haven't, but you put all that effort and work in, virtually 6 days a week, and you come out and it goes wrong for you in a big way like that. And the other problem is that, when you do come back out on stage and you are facing those weights again, you can't actually keep it out of your mind what actually happened.
Well, I think the good lifters do, but what I mean by that presence is you can sense some fire in some lifters. You can sense dynamism. Some come out and they're placid, or maybe they look like they're scared, and she's none of those things. And I think that's probably what drives her in the training, and then we get to see the manifestation of it when she comes out to compete. Now, Olga, not to take anything away from her, she's going to come out, it's going to be much more stolid sort of presence, and not like, great emotions that she's showing. Might be a lot going on internally.
Well, she's won the bronze medal already, whether she lifts this 131 or not, because remember, there are two lifters, the Chinese lifter Zhu Lulu, right, and Tatiana Kasharina, the world champion, yet to come. But I think Korobka was always looking tonight to have a happy return to the competition stage.
Well, give her credit. I was sure she'd saved it. She worked for it. I don't know. I would have bet that she had it at that point. Let's see what goes wrong if we see slow motion in the bottom position. There's going to be a little adjustment, I think, to the back, and then ultimately she's going to lose it to the front. Maybe she overcorrects in the bottom position.
Another important point, we haven't seen her picking up 130 plus kilos now for 4 years. Korobka, who won in Strasbourg, and since then,
watch what goes on the bombs. Bar's tending to drift back. She's trying to stabilize it. She corrects a little bit too much. If she kept standing up, she would have made it.
So out on the stage and at the bar, the first attempt now for Zhu Lulu. 135 kilos.
First time I've seen her lift. Watch the speed when she has to reverse directions and move under the bar.
And she is the Asian champion silver medalist. Interestingly enough, she was beaten by her own teammate Meng Su-ping, who's a very good super heavyweight.
Very smooth. To see she actually jumps back a little bit, characteristic of some lifters. Nice opener. Looks like she's following herself.
140
No.
please.
Oh, so she's going to take a big jump because Kasharini is coming out now.
Yeah, I think that's pretty logical, actually, that she'd take 5 kilos. I don't think that's an issue for her. You know, 135 is what she was lifting, but she's making progress. So I think it's interesting to see what the Chinese can put in here. Kasharina, the world and European record holder, coached by Vladimir Krasnov, and opening up for this first attempt on 140 kilos.
This is the world record holder in this lift, so you're watching the best.
And she's opening up 6 kilos short of her own record, which she set in Kazan on the Russian stage, or the Tatarstan stage, in April.
Just to give you an idea how quickly she's developed, she first broke the world record with 141 kilos, and that was only last year, right?
So Kasharina, who lives in the Moscow suburb of Nogorsk, well on her way, and body weight now comes into play because she is considerably lighter than the Chinese lifter.
Just like a piston, up and down. I mean, this bar could go any place, but she makes it go exactly where she wants it. Nice lift.
And another interesting factor about Tatiana is that her success has brought her reward as well. Her monthly salary is something of the order of about $15,000.
Really?
And an Olympic gold for her would be worth a bonus of at least $100,000.
Yeah.
So, you know, for not everybody, in fact for the minority, but for the few who are very good, there are some really tantalizing rewards.
Yeah, the monthly stipend that's a lot higher than I would have predicted. And 100,000 sounds lower than what I guessed, but
there are other good treats that come her way as well. But this is Zhu out now for 140. As you said, we don't know a lot about her, so we know that this is better than what she did in the Asian Championships. And look at this, 8 kilos up.
Big jump, but she smoked that opener.
I sense a world record attempt.
Yeah, this might be interesting. We have 2 women going after that world record.
Well, it's not that, but I think, you know, that was the gauntlet thrown down by Zhu to Tatiana.
You see her jumping back again a little bit. Not what you'd coach for, but some lifters just seem to do that naturally as part of their style. She's very quick, very consistent, big lift.
Now, whereas Tatiana's posted 145 for her second attempt, so she'd probably be pretty keen to put Zhu in, but I can't believe, no, Zhu's not going to go for 144. It's got to be Tatiana.
Yeah, just a reminder, world record, 148 kilos.
146 kilos.
Okay, can't read my own writing, or am I?
And Tatiana, only 20, still in junior ranks. She's younger, she's lighter, but she's the greater achiever at the moment. But it's perfectly clear that Zhu has come here to really take her on. And Tatiana just asking for a bit of peace and quiet. She doesn't want the noisy auditorium. Best part of a minute to go. So 145. This is a challenge here, being so close to the world record.
Boy.
Very well, she saved it.
She did indeed.
So, by my reckoning, Randy, the bar has to go to 147 kilos. Because Zhu is heavier anyway. She could put 146. But surely she's going to go for 147, because is she going to guess that Tatiana can go?
But she got rocked back pretty well on her heels on that attempt. Say, the 146, that current world record, that was set in Kazan earlier this year, right?
Yeah, I know. I've already said that.
Yeah. No, but I'm just confirming that. So, again, shows that she's consistently able to lift in that range.
Okay, so 146 is the extra kilo that Zhu needs to go ahead in first place in the snatch. So they've made a calculation. They made a calculation about Zhu, and they've made a calculation about Tatiana. Well, it does make you wonder why they didn't go for 147.
Yeah, well, the strategy, David, always is first the goal, then the record. But look, she has signaled that she could break it. Now, the body weight point that we talked about earlier, and you said, okay, one idea is, handicapping the system. Well, I don't think that's likely, but let's talk about this body weight. Okay, that lifter weighed 133 kilos and change, right?
Yeah, she's the best part of 35 kilos heavier.
Yeah.
Wow, this is interesting because Katarina could have come out on 146, matched up and just done it on body weight, but she's decided that she's going to go for a new snatch world record. This is junior and senior. No matter what she's achieved already, this is a big moment. Very steady in that bottom position, much better than the second attempt, but in that regard...
Yeah, interesting call. Certainly there's a cash bonus, I would imagine, substantial for the world record, but I think the real motivation probably was to get a little bit more distance from the other competitors. Actually shaky in this bottom position. Look at this. She's just quivering. She's not going back and forth, but she's going side to side, and the amount of weight over her head is making her just shake.
No.
But she gets control of this. This is what's important. She's strong enough. She has enough reserve. She can stand up. Boy, she had a fight for this.
Yeah, but that's why I said this was a better attempt than the second one, where she was all over the place.
Well, she's really getting hammered by this. I mean,
yeah, I know, but come on, it's a new world record.
Yeah.
She's entitled to shiver and shake. She's 20 years of age, and you're saying, well, no, it's not as good.
Yeah.
I'm saying she's taken on, on a competition stage, something she's not done before.
I'm saying the analysis isn't correct. If you're shaking that much with that kind of weight overhead, I don't know what's going to happen to the clean and jerk. But point is, she adjusted, she stabilized, she made the lift, she got a world record, she increased her lead. Good job.
Yeah, but it's only a kilo over the Chinese, so fascinating to see what happens. Korobka, you can see way back. Look at that, 20 kilos off in third place. And there, poor Kripsime Khurshidi, and only